So I had my first official USTA match of the year, and I played against Drew again. He happened to be the first guy in the season I was gonna play. I did not know that. So going into the match, I felt pretty good. I felt ready to face him again and put up a better fight than last time, but that was not the case. In a nutshell, I am not happy with the way I conducted myself on the court. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, it was just mentally I was not there. Mentally, I let myself go and was getting mad at a lot of little things. Where usually the mental game I try to have is if something doesn't go my way, like someone calls a ball out that was in, or just something throws me off, don't let it bother me. But this game, I was letting everything bother me. So let's get into some of the good stuff, and then we'll go over some of the bad stuff. One focus I did have during this match that I did well was getting my first serves in. Last time I played Drew, I did not get a lot of my first serves in. I was double faulting quite a bit. So I was actually pretty happy with myself getting my first serves in. All right, first serve. High ball to the back, double backhand, forehand up the middle, I charge, and almost biffed that. I almost biffed that volley, but I got a little bit lucky and Drew hit in the net. All right, high ball back, barely got that. So I slice to the back, get a volley cross court, and I think Drew thought that shot was going out, but thankfully it was in. So volley out down the line. So I have a habit of hitting a volley down the line, which sometimes it really works out for me, other times not as much. So I have to keep doing those volleys where I mix it up, where I go cross court or I go down the line. So serve, return, to the forehand. Forehand again, but I run around it. Forehand again, down the middle. Forehand, down the middle. I'm looking for that opening to charge the net, but, oh, and then the little slice. And slice down the line, so that one actually was able to pull off. Serve, return. Forehand and slice. I did a lot of slices this match, just warning you. High ball, inside out forehand, down the line. That was probably my best shot of the whole match, actually, was that right there, where he hits it to the corner and instead of going inside out, I just blast it right up the line. That one actually felt really, really good, but that's probably the best thing out of this match. The rest just goes downhill after that. Since my adrenaline was so high during this match, I had a hard time committing to my one-handed backhand, which if you guys have watched some of my previous videos, I've been working on that, but it's been harder to pull it off in matches than I thought, which makes sense. I only have so many reps in the one-handed backhand, so the confidence is still kind of low, but sometimes out of habit, out of reflex, I default to the two-handed backhand. So I'm figuring this out with the official matches and the Flex League matches that I'm playing. My body tends to just, out of habit, go to the two-handed backhand. But I'm trying to work on it, trying to do the one-hander. All right, so that's all the kind of the good stuff of the match. The rest just goes downhill where I start to lose my head. There's a lot of points where I just make poor decisions and I don't keep my cool, basically. Drew keeps his cool, I don't keep my cool. So in general, this entire match, I was launching balls to the clear backside of the court. And I don't know if it's just because I'm still getting used to playing outside or something like that, but I felt like I would barely touch the ball and it would just go flying. And maybe that's just the play style Drew has or something like that. I feel like I can't do a full swing against him. Like I feel like I just have to kind of tap the ball, and I haven't figured out how to keep my full swing without launching it way outside the court. So yeah, in general, that was a big issue I was having during this match. Just smacking a lot of balls way outside the court or way past the court. I also noticed when it came to the backhand side, there was a lot of lazy shots I was doing where instead of being somewhat aggressive with a slice, I was just lazily hitting it or not hitting the one-hander or even a two-handed backhand. I was really flat-footed and not really putting a ton of pace on the ball. So that's on me. That's something I need to do where even though it's to my backhand side, which I know is my weak spot, I need to still be aggressive as much as I can. Otherwise, I'm just gonna get beat every time. So during this match, another thing that was happening that was really making me frustrated, besides losing, is that the court we're on was next to another court that had a singles match going on, and the tennis balls kept rolling onto our court. Now that's something I'm used to, but this time it felt like at really pivotal points, like really big points and moments, that's when the tennis ball would come on the court, and it really messed with my head. So like, take a look at this point where on the left side of the screen, it's hitting the net, but there's a little bit of slope at the courts we're playing, so this ball just creepily starts coming my way. And I'm in the heat of the moment trying to get this point, and I see it out of the corner of my eye right when I do that slice, and I'm like, gosh dang it. And Drew and I talked about that on the changeover, where we're like, okay, when that happens, we should just call a let on either side. And I should have taken that more seriously because there's a lot of other points where I should have called a let, but I was more focused on winning the point that I didn't call a let, and that cost me a handful of points during this match. And that really, really started to make me really frustrated. So take a look at this point. Drew serves, return. High forehand, chops it. I tried to go across court, chops it again. I hit a high backhand, slice it down the line. He hits it down the line. I slice it right back. I hit forehand, it clips the net, but oh my gosh. So hold on, back up there for a second. If you look in the background, the guy in the yellow shirt, so one of the balls came off the net, I think, and he's going to go get the ball, and it bounces off the back wall there. And then instead of saying something, he just turns and kind of goes back to the fence and watches. Drew, I think, is in the heat of the moment too, so he doesn't really see the ball either. I don't see the ball at all. And then when I chased that ball right there, that's when I see it, and I throw it back that way to get it out of there. And that's what threw me off just a little bit. For Drew to hit an overhead and the end of the point, I should have called it a let there, but I didn't. I was literally, my feet were right on top of the ball. I start cussing and cursing at this point, which is, I'm glad no one could really hear me from there. So another big point here. Where ball creeps in on the left side there where Drew is, and he calls a let, so smart on him. I should have called more lets when the ball rolled my way. So moving on, these are the, I guess you could say, more heated clips. This is kind of towards the end of the match, and I just start losing my cool, and I start to let out some visible frustration. So serve, return, and I launch a freaking forehand. I want to throw my racket. I'm gonna take a time out there for a second. I've broken one racket before. And I know in one of my previous videos I made a couple years ago, I said under no circumstance throw your racket or break your racket. Well, call me a hypocrite because I've since then broken a racket, which I didn't think I would ever do. But it turns out in the game of tennis, you will surprise yourself sometimes. So I've broken one racket. I don't plan on breaking any more rackets because once you start getting into the habit of being visibly frustrated after every point that you lose, then it becomes a habit, and that's a really hard habit to break. And you can see in some of these clips here, there's a lot of moments where I want to throw my racket or break something, and that's just from one time of me breaking my racket, and already I want to do more of it. And for me, that's a problem. I don't want to keep having to buy new rackets. I can't afford that, you know? So serve, return, hit a high ball. Drew hits it cross court, hits it down the line. I hit cross court. He hits cross court again. I hit down the line. And then I go, oh, so that one actually, my shot there to his backhand was actually long, and he called it out, and instead of just catching the ball ending the point, I decided to hit an overhead because I'm just frustrated. I decided to slam it, even though there was no reason to. This one here, I serve, return, backhand. That was a two-handed backhand. Cross court, hit a slice, and another slice. And I just feed it right to him pretty much. Forehand, cross court. He hits down the line. I hit a slice. He hits backhand. I hit a slice. High ball. And I take a lazy shot at that one. Drew hits a forehand. Really high. There's a ball behind me. Oh, that came right towards my feet too. So again, that ball comes out in front of me and I had no idea. I hit the net and I throw my racket. So if you watch this point back, where the guy in the yellow shirt is again, there's a ball that comes to the backside of my court, bounces off the wall, comes right between my feet, starts rolling towards the doubles alley. So I don't see the ball until I hit that backhand. And I don't think the call let, I just think of finishing the point, and I throw my racket because of that. So, and then I say something along the lines of, should have called a let, didn't call a let, I should have called a let. But I think I was also like, I wish someone else had called a let, but that's not their responsibility, that's my responsibility, and I didn't do that. And then I really want to chuck that ball over the fence, but the guy in the yellow shirt is asking for the ball, so I do that little thing of, I'm gonna chuck it, and then I'm like, oh wait, he needs the ball, so I put my head down and with my tail between my legs. Ugh, but yeah, I was getting really mad. But I was able to use that for a serve, which was awesome. I blasted one down the tee and got him on the serve after that. But you know, that kind of anger only gets you so far. So like in this point here, I was hitting pretty good, and then I blast one just wide, and I just want to throw my racket again. This is towards the end of the match too, by the way. I think I mentioned that. So everything just falls apart. So pretty much every shot I'm taking is just going long or is just lazy. I lost everything completely. So yeah, this is a good little point we got going on here, but then I hit that volley long, and I really want to throw my racket there if you saw that for a second. Drew serves, return, another slice, backhand, one-handed backhand, kind of. He hits across court, he hits another volley, I get to it, he hits another volley, I turn around, I get to it, but then I hit in the net, and that close to smashing the crap out of my racket, and visibly frustrated. Drew at this point obviously knows I'm pretty bent out of shape, which isn't like me usually. And yeah, here's the final point of the game. So I serve, Drew returns, forehand, really high ball again. I try to hit it back. Clips the net, I hit a slice, and it's long. So That net shot caught me off a little bit, but again, I hit a slice, and that's the end of the game. And Drew's a really good sport. He started talking about how the tennis balls we were using were really fast, and they were bouncier than the ones we've played with before in the past. I think that was him just trying to be nice because he could tell I was pretty bent out of shape. Basically, with all that said, what I figured out after that game is that I need a little bit more discipline. So I need to shut up and I need to train.